So you have those protesters in North Dakota, and they're not quite leaving because the Energy Partner Transfers press release says, screw it, we're doing it anyway. We're going through. So they know not to leave. But I just wanted Sunday, I just wanted to take, like 5 seconds to celebrate these people who have just weathered, 110 degrees sweltering heat into, 23, not below, but 23 degree weather where they were being, doused with water cannons and going to the hospital with hypothermia. Now, I will say that here's an interesting play by Donald Trump. Senator Heidi Heitkamp from North Dakota, she's a Democrat, and she went to Trump Tower on Friday, and I don't know exactly what Trump wants with her, except to say this. North Dakota is a very Republican state, and she's a Democratic senator, and if he could peel her out of the Senate and put her somewhere in his, administration, I don't know where, then you'd have probably a Republican taking her place. And the Republican taking her place would probably be Kevin Cramer, who's a House representative. Now, Kevin Cramer is a guy who's so pro-energy partners, that him taking her place would be just, a nightmare. And then he's talking to Joe Manchin of West Virginia, also, a marginal, very marginal, hanging up by the skin of his teeth, whatever the hell that is. To the D after his name. I mean, Manchin is just, whatever the coal companies want, I'm with them. And now Trump is talking to him also to try and pull him into the administration. And we would end up with a Republican from West Virginia as well. So this is one of the ways that Trump is trying to peel off the senators from the Senate and move them into his administration, let them do absolutely nothing for the next 4 years. And then, he'll replace, those states would probably replace them with Republicans. So that's like one, standard, but, a kind of chess-like move. It's not so brilliant. It's not that anybody's never thought about it before. It's just that you should be aware that this is going on. And this has everything to do with where pipes will be laid. Hello, they'll just whip out their pipes and just wipe you off the map, because that's what those boys do. Wow, these people really have no clue what foreign policy is. They really don't know. They have no earthly idea. I mean, just the comparison alone. Opening up Cuba after 60 years of embargoes and Fidel dies, and then you say to Raul, maybe there's some room here. Maybe we could talk a little bit. Maybe we could, you could stop with this communism stuff. And, comparing that to pissing off China by calling Taiwan and lying about it on the TV, saying, oh, this was just a congratulatory call. It turns out there's a readout. This is going to be the new word now. Like normalize has become the new word, okay? The new one now is going to be the readout. You're going to hear it everywhere, the readout. You know what that means? When our government talks to a foreign government, there's a recording, except not with Donald Trump, who's using a cell phone, by the way, for these delicate calls. He's using a freaking unsecured cell phone. But the other side is recording the damn phone call. And what it turns out that they discussed, it wasn't a congratulatory call at all. Donald Trump has, ambassadors of sales. That's what they're called, sales ambassadors. It's kind of like, the Amway deal. Sales ambassadors. And he's got two of them in Taiwan because he wants to build a development, or at least have somebody build it and slap his name on it, right below the airport in Taiwan, where there's this, disgusting field of nothingness. And he wants to build it there, and his business comes before your security or your economic prowess. Because what we have in this country, it's called a one China policy. What does that mean? It means China considers Taiwan part of China. Sort of like America considers Puerto Rico part of America. You get that? Okay. So that's the way China views Taiwan. And since 1979, which means before Ronald Reagan, we don't talk to Taiwan. We have something we want to discuss with Taiwan. We talk to China. And China can decide if Taiwan's government should be on the phone call, if this concerns them. For instance, we have a one China policy, but we also have a treaty within that one China policy that says we're allowed to sell, of course, arms to Taiwan. The Chinese say, that's cool with us. Go ahead. And conflating these things and not realizing the awesome amount of commerce and the fact that China holds our debt. And these are bankruptcy masters. And if China makes the United States default, if China would call in our debt, put it this way, if China would call in our debt and we couldn't pay it, we would be in default as a country. And all bets would be off. I mean, you talk about a depression. I mean, this would be like this, and in bankruptcy, the Mnuchins, the Wilburs with his velvet shoes from Palm Beach, Donald's neighbor,